Beloved saints, today's 5-minute message of redemptive history is about Baasha in the history of the kings of Israel from the 4th book of Redemptive History series, God's Profound and Mysterious Providence. Baasha killed Nadab and became the first king of the 2nd dynasty of the northern kingdom of Israel. Baasha became the first king of the 2nd dynasty because he was used as an instrument of God to judge Nadab and the house of Jeroboam. However, Baasha also walked in the way of Nadab and Jeroboam. Baasha's name means offensive and wickedness. As his name indicates, Baasha lived a life offensive in the sight of God. 1 Kings 15 verse 34 states, Baasha did evil in the eyes of the Lord, following the ways of Jeroboam and committing the same sin Jeroboam had caused Israel to commit. First, Baasha was exalted from the dust and became a leader of Israel. The word of the Lord came upon Jehu, the son of Hanani, against Baasha. 1 Kings 16 verse 2 states, I lifted you up from the dust and appointed you ruler over my people Israel. But you followed the ways of Jeroboam and caused my people Israel to sin and to arouse my anger by their sins. Here the word dust in Hebrew is apar, meaning dry earth, soil, and dust. In referring to the status of a person, this word can denote a being that is as commonplace and worthless as dust. Through his sovereign workings, God enthroned Baasha, who otherwise could never have become king. However, Baasha was unmindful of the grace of God that had exalted a lowly being to the throne, and he worshipped idols and provoked God to anger. Second, Baasha and his house were consumed because of his sins. Jehu continued to declare the word of God to Baasha in 1 Kings 16 verses 3-4. It says, Behold, I will utterly sweep away Baasha and his house, and I will make your house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat. Anyone belonging to Baasha who dies in the city, the dogs shall eat, and anyone of his who dies in the field, the birds of the heavens shall eat. Here the expression sweep away means to burn and to consume. Especially since the participial form used here, God is expressing his strong intention that he will continue to burn away until all is completely consumed. There is, however, something very unique about the record of Baasha's death. 1 Kings 16 verse 5 states, Now the rest of the acts of Baasha and what he did and his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel? The word might is usually not used in summing up the acts of kings. It is unique to Baasha. The use of this word might leads us to deduce that Baasha possessed great authority and power which cannot be compared to any other king. Although Baasha ruled the kingdom with power and authority for 24 years, he committed evil in the sight of God and provoked him to anger. Therefore, his entire house was destroyed instantly. Beloved saints, God used Baasha as his instrument to judge King Nadab. Baasha became God's instrument of judgment to strike down the wicked idolater Nadab. He went on to completely annihilate the house of Jeroboam and became the 3rd king of the northern kingdom of Israel. Despite all this, Baasha committed idolatry without any hesitation, just like Nadab, whom he had killed. In this way, he lived a life that was offensive to God and ultimately brought God's judgment upon himself. Let us all learn from today's word. Let us not become like Baasha, who was God's instrument of judgment, but forsook God's grace and brought God's judgment upon himself. Instead, let us always be thankful of God's grace and abandon our pride and arrogance. Through humility, let us become an instrument of God, pleasing in His sight, giving glory to Him. I bless in the name of the Lord.